Well, hello and an extremely warm welcome to the channel. I hope you can hear me above the traffic noise. It's bank holiday Monday afternoon and I'm out and about. And the reason is I've got a couple of trips to make. And the first one is definitely railway connected because I'm taking a little clock back to a customer and they've asked whether they can pay me with a Triang item. Well, that's too tempting to ignore, isn't it? The clock that I repaired is just a little wooden inlay mantle clock. It had been to 2 or 3 different repairers and great sentimental value to the owner. The other repairers hadn't been able to do anything with it, but luckily I've restored it to full operating condition. I'm going to show it to you in a second because it could double up as a clock of the week. Right now I just need to find somewhere to pull over in a bit and check my sat nav, because I do have a bit of a feeling that I could be going in the wrong direction. This is a really good place to stop, so I think I'll just turn the engine off and hopefully you'll be able to see this. Now, I don't suppose the light's great in the car. This could be our clock of the week even. It is a lovely little wooden clock with a French movement, and the owner is so pleased to have this clock, which has got sentimental value, repaired. They've asked whether I could accept a Triang item in payment. Well, that's just exactly what I'm going to go and do. Gosh, it's ticking away beautifully. So yeah, I'm going to check the sat nav and then set off, hopefully in the right direction. Alright, well that's the sat nav checked, and not long to this customer's house now. So I'm going to get the clock back and pick up my item, and then we'll take a quick look at it because I'm really excited. So off we go. I'll be... Ooh. Nothing like a bit of country road action sometimes. Oh, what a great day. Okay, well I'm on a great little country road at the moment. I've just got to pay a bit of extra attention in case there's any cyclists or pedestrians about, but let's see if I can find a place to pull over, because I've picked up this item and I just can't tell you how pleased I am. Nope, not stopping in someone's drive. Let's just keep going a bit more. It's an absolutely beautiful afternoon to be out and about. Alright, this looks like a perfect place. Okay, let's get off the road. And then I can't wait to just show you this. Okay. Right, well I'm just reaching into the back and I'm going to give you a magic number. It's R.553 and R.554. Now I just hope you can see this, because I'm just pulling off the sleeve. Look at that, that's cellophane on there. And there you have that beautiful Caledonian single, still sealed in its box. So I'm going to look forward to dating this exact model, but so happy with that. I'm going to show you that better when we get into the workshop, because of course I also want to see whether the paint stripping has been successful. But right now I need to get to my friend's garage because he's got a classic car issue and I'm going to try and help him out. So, final destination, and then it'll be home. Off we go. Well, it's so busy today, bank holiday, but I've had great success at the garage. I'll let it in a couple of pictures of the car and the item I've removed, and here it is. I can just show you perhaps on the camera. I don't know how that's going to come out, but it is indeed the instrument cluster, and I think the faulty problem with this is going to be in this printed circuit board on the back. You get a little bit of corrosion under the contacts, the screws, or where the plugs go in. So I think that just a little bit of fault tracing with the multimeter and we'll have that working. So that's the job's done for the afternoon. Now I don't know whether you can see, right over there, there's a train just going along. It's probably not showing up on the camera, but I am parked up next to the railway line because I just fancied showing you that dashboard. Right, let's get home. So we're going to look at the Caledonian in a bit more detail and see whether we've got the paint off Battle of Britain class. So right now, why don't you stay with me just for a minute as I enjoy the way home along this excellent country lane. Right folks, well, it's always a great achievement to get back to the garage without a breakdown when you're driving something from 1968. There's the Jaguar dashboard, I'll put that there for attention another day. 0-1 items, look, still occasionally fiddling with those when I should be doing something better. And what's this? Yes, the main prize of the day. Going to get that upstairs shortly and we'll take a look at it under the better lights. So what a real stroke of luck having a clock customer who wants to pay you with a Triang item. It's just as I can just imagine what it must have been like to have gone into the hobby shop, seen this on the shelf and come out with it in your hands, still wrapped in the cellophane. Amazing, what a time warp item. Okay, well, we will just quickly look round the workshop before I go upstairs. Here's a failure. I decided to have a go at mending a sealed drum washing machine, but Mrs. Snooze has triumphed. We do have a new one now because the aluminium spider just corroded away to nothing and it's not available as a separate item, so another hugely wasteful, unrepairable item, which is a shame. But I'll class that as a failure, but I still had quite good fun sawing it apart. And what else am I working on? Well, just here, I don't know whether any of you have ever had experience of Land Rovers, but this is a power steering box and a leaky oil seal. And when I say leaky, I don't know whether I can get it into focus. It had actually corroded. The rubber had split and the metal frame in the oil seal had corroded through. That hole there is just where I drilled and put a self-tapper in to hoik it out. So yeah, indeed reached the end of its service life, but there's absolutely no play in the output shaft and there's no ridge worn in, so I think a new oil seal, and I've got a couple down here, so hopefully I won't need both of them. I'll just put that in gently. Yeah, I hope a new oil seal is going to get this nice and dry again, but I need to just wrap a bit of something around these splines to protect the oil seal before I fit it. So that's what's going on downstairs. But right now I want to get back upstairs, take the lovely Caledonian Loco up into the loft, and also get a look at that Battle of Britain. Let's see if the paint's come off. I'm just going to get a cup of tea and I'll see you up there in a minute. Everything's ready now for the great unveil, and I've got the submerged Battle of Britain class items in there. Haven't looked yet, so it's going to be something I share with you on camera. I've got a tray here hopefully to put them in, and we're going to take a look. Now, a couple of things I think I should have probably said in previous videos. You know, if you are going to attempt this sort of thing, firstly, be aware that things like automotive liquids and chemicals or paint strippers, you know, they're not great items. So look after yourself with eye protection, other PPI, and do spot tests. I really probably should have just done a very small amount of testing on the body shell first rather than shove it in. You know, I mean, to me, this is just either going to work or it isn't, but if it's your precious Loco, I really advise taking extra special care. So if you're thinking of using isopropyl alcohol or any chemical as an experiment, do some testing. You know, it's great if you think some of my ideas are good and you want to have a go, but I'd hate to give people advice and then them find that their items were ruined. So, well, that's got that sort of bit out the way, so I'm keen to look in here now. Let's have a look. Well, the lid's on a little firmer. Here, right, okay, well, you might not pick this up on camera, but initially it looks like things aren't looking too bad. So I'm going to, I've just got a little bit of kitchen roll here. Let's get the tender out. Now, could you see that? Let me just bring in this toothbrush. Look, there's something is there. Hopefully you can see that. Something is definitely loosened. Okay, well, that's the main amount. There's definitely something has happened there, and it looked green. Okay, let's look at this. Here's the bottom of the tender. I'm brushing the buffer beam there, and I can see that the red is, well, some of the red is coming off. So we've got, yeah, I think there's all sorts of things coming off onto the brush, so I'm going to pop that in there. And then I guess the main item, let's just look at the body shell. Ooh, wow. So I don't know whether you can see that in shot. There's a lovely, let me see if I can just maybe bring this over a little bit towards the camera. Plastic still feels nice and solid. That should catch the odd drip. Look at that. We've really got a finish there that indicates the paint or varnish or whatever is lifting. So I'm just going to put that back in the fluid. Just discard that. And let's just give it the paintbrush test. Let's have a look. Well, there's definitely lots of stuff going on there. Let me see if I can just show you, perhaps on the paintbrush. Right, I'm going to put that in there. So there's definitely, and you can see on the fingers of my gloves, there's black and there's red there. Well, I think we've had success. Now, what I need to do is put this container of fluid safe, and then I'm going to take these items down off camera and give them a really good wash in some not too warm soapy liquid and get the residual brake fluid off, and then perhaps we'll take a look at them and see how they're looking. Right, well, I'm back up here. I've given these the first scrub. I have to say the black paint is still coming off. I think a gentle soak with more sort of like a mild floor cleaner or fairy liquid. There's still a bit more to come off, but let's have a look at the items. This is what I want to do. If I just clean that, you can see the tenders now looking much better. All that paint and varnish gone, but somehow they've used a destructive method try and get that into focus, a destructive method of removing the original decal there. So I think that's going to require a bit of model construction kit, body filler, and some very, very precision sanding. And I think that also applies to the main loco body shell, because if I bring this up into close-up, you can see, look at that wonderful rivet detail, but they've really made a mess of it with the glue. So whatever they used, I think it probably was polystyrene cement or something, there's great damage to the plastic, so there's going to have to be a bit of precision cleaning up and filling there, and it might be that there's the odd loss of rivet detail because that's been put over those rivets. I don't know, we'll have to see what happens and obviously how it goes, but that's just a little bit of moisture still on this. That's how it is both sides, and there's been some ultimate destruction with the removal of the original running number. Now the black, you can see, is mainly come off. There's about 3 or 4 layers of black there. I don't really want to put it back in the brake fluid. I'm going to have a think about that, but on the whole the body shell's really come up well. I did think there'd be some repairs to do, so I'm not disappointed, and I'm looking forward to trying to repair these areas and getting it into primer. Finally, I suppose the bit that I am slightly disappointed with, and if you can perhaps see the axle boxes, whatever paint was daubed on here is really quite resilient. Brake fluid doesn't touch it at all. It's underneath the buffer beam. The original red's come off, but there's this, it's awful. I scratch it with my fingernails, not budging, so yeah, it's a bit of a shame really, because that's hiding some of the nice detail and it does look a bit of a mess. So any ideas appreciated, what I might try on that next. But on the whole body shell of the loco is looking quite promising. And considering how it was before, I'm not at all disappointed. I think it's going to be great fun to keep working on this. So I think we'll come back to this when I'm ready to start sanding out and filling the imperfections in the body, and I'll show you how I have a go at that, and we'll see if it works. Okay, well, let's move these to one side and bring this into view. Here it is, the lovely Caledonian single, and I'm just going to be careful sliding this sleeve off. It's quite crisp. I think it's been in a drawer or kept nicely away from any sunlight, and it's lovely and tight. And there it is, and you can see if I twist that, the cellophane, and you can also see the pull of the cellophane has induced a bow in the box. And I think quite a lot of these models that have got this type of box have got bows in them, and it's because of the cellophane. But the loco and tender look really great in there, don't they? And much as I believe things are to be used, I think the cellophane on this is in such good condition it's probably going to stay this way. So a shelf queen, as they call them. But I'm really happy with that. And as I say, would it perhaps been nice if there'd have been a period price ticket on there? I did have a quick look through some catalogues. Now I'm sure a few of you might know better than me, but I think this particular Caledonian didn't seem to appear in the catalogue after about 1966 or 67, so I'm wondering if it is indeed from the mid to just going into the second half of the 1960s. Now I have got something just to compare with it. Let's just reach over, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to bring this out. There we are, it's a Lord of the Isles. Now this isn't sealed in its box, it's been out, but you can see slightly different box, a window box, still with the nice yellow cellophane in there. And this has got the great, look at that excellent back. Now if I turn over the Triang Hornby, the Caledonian, you can see that's all in red and yellow. And I really quite like this packaging where we've got this right bold bit of white on there. So there is another single. So we've got a couple in their boxes and they look great. Excellent Triang Hornby models. And I think these two, I shall probably put them somewhere nice together so I can enjoy looking, but out of the sunlight obviously, because these boxes do fade. Well, I hope you've enjoyed looking at the little Caledonian that we took a ride out to get, and the Lord of the Isles, and I hope also that the Battle of Britain project is interesting you. I think that's going to be more or less it for this video. Next time I hope we'll get back to some running, and indeed I really want to get the Freightliner train set, and it's just more of a, I don't know whether you call them train sets, it's a train pack, isn't it really, with the 3 Freightliner wagons and the high mech. I want to get that on the main line, so that's for the next video. And just bring this hopefully into focus. And when I get spare time, I'm going to put a bit of effort in to trying to bring this body shell into a condition where I can get a bit of primer on it. Okay, well, I look forward to reading your comments, and I hope you've all had a great bank holiday weekend. And until the next video, I'll say goodbye.